Okay, this is part one of a two-part video series that I'm going to do regarding 1.9 threads and how to calculate forge points for using a 1.9 thread. So to start with, this one is going to be all about using the FOE Tools investment calculator. So to begin with, you'll need to Google FOE Tools or GB investment calculator, or there's various ways of getting here, but basically it's https foe.tools. That will get you here. Here's the home page. If you use this and you really like it, please consider donating. People who put these things together are awesome for doing that. So drop them $1 or $2 or whatever. That would be really awesome of you. Okay, so we are working on the investment calculator. We're going to pick a building. We're going to go with the Castel de Monte. I don't know how to pronounce things, so do the best I can. We're going to go with this one, though. So in my current city, I have a level 8. I'm trying to take it to a level 9. So to use this calculator, what you want to do is you can scroll down a little bit. Make sure you're in owner view. You are the owner of this building. That's what we're trying to get to. Make sure you select the building you want. You can always switch this to whatever building you're working on. For the level, right now it's showing level 0 towards level 1, and level 1 is here in this box. Mine is a level 8. I want to get it to a level 9, so I'm going to put level 9 there. So that changes things. Now I know that it's going from level 8 to level 9. My 9 is right there. Over here in this box, the percentage of global investors bonus. This is the ARC bonus for people who are helping and investing in your building in order to help you build it up. Because we're using a 1.9 thread in our guild, you would set this to 90. That's normally the default, but sometimes that number can get bumped when you're playing around with this calculator. So just make sure that it's at 90. If your guild is using a 1.7 thread or a 1.85 thread or something like that, then you would need to change this to 70% or 85% or whatever the case may be in your guild. This next box right here, the number of forge points currently put by the owner. This is, let's say I've already, put 50 forge points on my building already. I would add that in here, and it would change the numbers down here a little bit. I'll show you how that works in a second. This box right here is for any investors who have already put forge points on your building. At the moment, I don't have anyone, so I'm just going to leave that blank, but I will show you how that works in a minute. This show spot snipe section, I usually don't use that. It's not important for this particular video, but later on, if you've used this calculator a lot and you want to start using that, feel free to. All right, so this table right here is the most important part in figuring out what you need to post in your 1.9 thread. So let's go over this really quickly. Your first column is going to show the places. You have 1 through 5 places on your building. The second column is going to show you the default rewards. So for place number 1, whoever takes that place will automatically get 65 forge points back. That is the default for this building at this particular level. Place 2 gets 35, place 3 gets 10, place 4 gets 5, place 5 gets 0. This is only showing the forge point rewards. It's not showing medals or blueprints. So that 5 place might not be getting any forge points back, but there could be a blueprint or some medals that people still want. So don't discount level 5 automatically. The next column is going to show you how many forge points you as the owner need to put on your building in order to secure this particular spot. So for level places 1 and 2, you need to have 362 forge points in there. Once you have 362 forge points on your building from the owner, that will lock in that place so that this person will know that as soon as they put in the number that you're asking for, which in this case is 124 forge points, that no one is going to be able to snipe them, that they will have that place. That is the one they are guaranteed the rewards that you are locking in place for them. So for the first place and the second place, it happens to be that 362 are the forge points to secure both of those for this particular building at this particular level. For places 3 and 4, it happens to be that 381 is the number that I need to secure those. So what I tend to do, and this is best practice, other people do it different ways, but this would be the best practice, is to get your 362 forge points in there to lock in those places. Once people have invested in those places, then you would go ahead and add the rest of the forge points that you need to come up to this 381 to secure in these next 2 spots. And then once those investments have been made by other players, then you can look at what the next place is and add your forge points there. If you unlock all of these, if you decide, hey, I'm just going to put 390 forge points in here and unlock everything all at once, it's possible that someone can jump in and snipe your building and put less than 124 but still get the first place. And then you're going to have to make up the difference, and it will make your other investors not so happy because they will end up getting sniped along the way. So best practice is to only unlock one level at a time as you can. Generally speaking, slots 1 and 2 or places 1 and 2 are almost always, so far with the buildings that I'm using, maybe if you have really high level buildings, it will be different. But so far in the buildings that I have been leveling and using the calculator on, I always end up unlocking the first and second slots at the same time. Okay, so this column, the rewards with rate, this number is derived by taking the default reward number, which for place 1 is 65, timesing that by 1.9. That gets you the 124 points. So basically that's 90%. If you have an arc with a 90% bonus, then your rewards for locking in this first spot is going to be 124 forge points instead of just the 65 forge points, because you get that extra 90% bonus. So, I mean, all of this you could calculate by hand if you wanted to. I'm not very good with math, so this is why I like to use a calculator. Same thing for slot 2. 35 times 1.9 will get you that 67. So this column here, this rewards with rate, because we're putting this on a 1.9 thread, this is the column. These are the numbers that you are going to be asking for from your guildmates on your 1.9 thread. This column right here, the percentage of investors bonus, you can change these depending on if you, there are a couple of strategies. If you like put together 5 friends and you know what their arc bonus is and you're just going to have a little leveling up party or something like that, then you can change the bonus based on, hey, friend 1 is going to take place 1 and their arc bonus is 75 or something like that. You could change that if you want to, but because I'm just putting this on a 1.9 thread, I'm just leaving this at 90, keeping that the default, and that should work great. The last column is to include in copy boxes. That is something I will show you how to use in the next video. But the idea here is, if you look down here at the bottom of this table, you've got your total investment of the owner and the level cost. So if you look at your total investment of owner, that's 390. The actual cost to level up this building on this level to get from 8 to 9 is 610. But you as the owner will be putting in 390 and your investors will be making up the difference on that. So this is actually, I mean, it can show you can be saving quite a lot of forge points if you use a 1.9 thread. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the next video as well. Okay, so that's the basic layout. We're not going to go down to the bottom part until the next video. So let's say I've committed 50 forge points every day to put on this building so that I can get it going. So it's going to take me a few days before I can get up to this amount that I need to have in order to secure those places. But once I get up to that 362, I will type that into this box right here to show the number of forge points that the owner has put in there. Once I do that, it will show down here on the table that these first 2 places are now secured. So these first 2 places I can now post in my 1.9 thread, and I will be asking for place 1, I'll be asking for 124 forge points, and for place 2, I will be asking for 67 forge points. And in the next video, I'll show you how to post those. So let's say somebody said, yep, I want place 1, I'm going to put in the 124 forge points. You would put them up here in this investor, push add, and the calculator will start a list of the investors that you have. Now, as you add investors into the calculator, you will see down here that things have changed. So this one is no longer available because someone has already invested in it. And the two arrows going back and forth basically are saying this person has put in the required amount. They won't be making any profit or losing any forge points if they have that 90% ARC bonus, which is what we have there. And that's just basically, I mean, if you were a player and your ARC bonus was only 30%, but you said, you know what, I really need those blueprints, I'm willing to put 124 forge points on this building. You could, if you wanted to, calculate out, let's say you only had 30%, but you still put in your 124. Well, your rewards rate is going to be not so much, not as much. You're not going to get back that 124. You're only going to get back 80, 85. But that's okay because you've locked your spot. You've got medals and blueprints that are coming to you. So it really doesn't matter what your ARC bonus is as the investor. Just if someone is posting in the 1.9 thread and they're asking for that amount, then that's what you're going to put in there because that's what they're asking for. And the 1.9 threads, they are set at 1.9 so that everybody knows, everyone can calculate it. Everybody's kind of on even ground there. Okay, so I've got my first investor in there. Let's say someone comes along and says, well, I want slot 2. So they invest 67. That one is now taken care of. Now I've got those two ready to go. I still need to put, according to the calculator, 19 more forge points on here in order to secure this third place. So I would come up here, add in 19 more. So that brings my total as the owner to 381. And that secures these next two slots. So I would then post these two on the 1.9 thread, and I would be asking for 19 points and 10 points, and you can get that either from here or from here. So people come along, I get someone who says, yep, I'm going to invest 19. Sorry, I just scrolled away crazy there. And somebody else comes along and says, yes, I'll put in my 10. All right, so now I've got 4 investors on here. That's awesome. That's super cool. All I need to do now to secure this is to add in my 9 more points, and then that takes care of my building. My building's done. There's still one more spot here. Whoever wants to take this spot can. They won't be getting any forge points back. That's not part of the reward for this particular level. But like I said, there could still be medals and blueprints, and maybe somebody wants the blueprints. So at this point, what I normally do is I'll add a few more forge points on there just to make it a little bit easier for someone to jump on there. And then I will post it in the guild somewhere on our, flip my great building thread or something like that and say, hey, if you want to put a couple of forge points on here, you can get the blueprint or the medals. And usually someone's always looking for blueprints, so it goes pretty fast after that. So there you go. That's how to actually use this calculator to figure out the numbers that you need to post in your 1.9 thread. In the next video, I'll talk a little bit more about how 1.9 threads actually work and how to use this to post in your 1.9 thread.